Oscar, you've obviously topped the group with that point tonight. There's forecasters a bit dodgy for the next few days in Sydney. Was it something you'd spoken about as a group that if you had got a game, how important it was to try and finish top of the group in case it becomes the deciding factor?
Yeah, obviously we did speak about that. Obviously something we can't control, so we had to obviously talk about that, and just we know how much it might be raining on Thursday as well, so we kind of have to make sure that we're well prepared, and hopefully we can get a game on Thursday. Now there'll be a rain for a few days now, but at the end of the day, it's something we can't control, and we just have to make sure that we're well prepared for our game on Thursday.
Just overall on the group campaign, how pleased are you with how it's gone?
Really good. I think the girls have played really good cricket. I felt we had a really good chat before we started here, and just the way the girls have put up their hands has been really good. Stand-up performances have been good, and yeah, it's just lovely to see from the girls. They've been playing really good cricket, so obviously looking forward to Thursday, but obviously got to prepare well for Thursday.
Obviously, you take on Australia. It's going to be a massive crowd at the SCG on Thursday night in some sense too. Is that something you've also got to prepare for, just all the emotion that's going to be around that game just in this city alone, do you think? Yeah,
definitely. Obviously, it's their home ground. We know there's going to be a lot of people around as well. So obviously, we just got to make sure that we stay in our space, prepare really well, and make sure that we switch on from the first ball. We're playing the number one team in the world, so got to make sure that we're well prepared for that.
Do you think there's maybe a little bit of a weakness there for them without Elise Perry? Obviously, I'm sure you're across that news today of her ruled out for the tournament.
Obviously, she's a world-class player. You want a player like that to be playing. So for us, we kind of know the match winners that they have in their team. So for me, it's just about making sure that we prepare with all the other players and make sure that we have our game plans ready for them.
Well, you haven't beaten Australia before, but would it be fair to say that's kind of irrelevant given how well South Africa are playing right now and the confidence you'd come in with the week that you've had?
Yeah, well, we want to play the world champions. We wanted to play them for a while now, so to play in the semi-final will probably be the biggest game for us. We just have to make sure that we're on it. We have to make sure that we analyse every single player. We go there and put up a good fight, and we know it'll be a good game of cricket.
So you haven't got a chance to prove it again tonight, but do you feel like you're good value for topping this group?
Oh no, definitely. Obviously, with the rain around as well, we want to make sure that we're on top of the log. But the girls have been playing really good cricket, and it's nice to see the maturity from everyone. If you look back 2 years ago, we're in this space, so I'm really good that the girls have been putting up their hands and working really hard.
In terms of this group, as you said, you've topped it, not had to win every game, but you haven't lost anything. Does this show the kind of the improvement you've made as a team? That you're not just scraping through anymore. You're putting in big strides to make sure that you're leaving nothing to chance.
Yeah, obviously after the World Cup in 2018, it was not good for us. We had to reflect a lot as individuals outside of cricket, and come together and kind of work a plan forward on how we're gonna get to where we want to get to. And yeah, it was just good that the girls obviously took their time away from cricket and just made sure that they worked in the game and everything else. And I felt that you can just feel the vibe, like the maturity around the group has been really good. Younger players have put up their hand, so you want that going into a World Cup and into a semi-final. So for me, it's very pleasing.
Did you speak about the 2018 disappointment in your preparations for this one?
No, I kind of felt that we left it there. After that World Cup, we made sure we obviously had the chats, and we kind of just left it there. We don't want to talk about that anymore. At the end of the day, it's done and dusted, and we have to look forward to the semi-finals coming up now. So to us, it's not really in our minds. So obviously we discussed that, but yeah, it's just been really good cricket that the girls been playing.
Just on Marizanne Kapp, are we likely to see her on Thursday? How she's been progressing? Obviously, she didn't field the other day.
You definitely see her there. No, obviously she wasn't feeling too well, and yeah, she's been racing really well. So hopefully she has enough time. But a player like her won't want to sit out at all. So yeah, we just want to make sure that she's just looks after herself as well. So I don't think she'll sit. I don't think she wants to. But yeah, we'll just make sure that she's well looked after before the game.
Would she have played tonight? Do you know if you had got on?
No, I'm not sure. No, I wasn't. She wasn't going to play.
Is she still with the group a lot, or is she sort of being quarantined away to make sure that this issue virus or flu or whatever it is not flu, but virus spreads around the group?
Sorry, you won't be able to answer that.
Yeah.
So yeah, she's still in front of the setup. She's precautionary rest.
Yeah.
Like Claire said there, she should hopefully be expected to play in the
Yeah.
How How much of an impact? Like that's a massive bonus, isn't it? Like, between having her on the side and not having her on the side. I imagine not just from a skills point of view, but just from a psychological point of view too. That's massive.
A player like her, you don't want to leave out of your team. She's proved that over the years, and the knowledge that she brings to the group is really good. So a player like her doesn't want to sit out, and you don't want her to sit out at all. So yeah, it will be a big loss, but I know, knowing her, she'll definitely want to play on Thursday, and obviously with us behind her, she can play.
The rain obviously meant you couldn't try and go out with a positive result. How do you just sum up the feeling in the camp after the tournament?
It's a bit disappointing to have to leave and not even go through to the semi-finals. We would have liked to play tonight and hopefully go home with a win. Unfortunately, it wasn't to be.
Do you see positives from this tournament for the future? I mean, your coach spoke the other day about some of the issues, particularly with the batting. Have you already started to look at what you might need to address for the future?
Some of the positives coming out of this tournament, I thought in the field we looked really well. As a bowling unit, we bowled really well. Going back, we're going to have to work on our batting, and that's something we're going to have to look at when we get back home.
I remember you saying ahead of your second game that you wanted the batter to step up. Clearly, they didn't do that. Why?
That's a very hard question. Obviously, we'd want them to step up, but it just didn't.
What do you put that down to? There's been all sorts of things raised. Gus mentioned sort of issues of not being aggressive enough, not being positive enough, both in terms of hitting boundaries and running between the wickets. Is there an element of that? Did you think you were sort of in any way timid in this tournament?
I think it's maybe a lack of confidence because in the nets, players hit the ball very well. So I think it's just a matter of players believing in themselves, and when they go out in the middle, just execute what they have been practicing.
West Indies are always seen as a confident team, a team that back themselves to perform on any given day. So where has that confidence slipped in the last few months?
I think that's an individual thing. Players have to pick themselves up, as management or anyone can go and give advice, but at the end of the day, it's up to the player to go out there and execute.
Do you feel that you've missed out on the chance to prove yourselves again, having not been able to play tonight? Do you think you needed it to sort of show people that you are still capable of performances?
Yeah, definitely. I think we'd like to go home with a win. Knowing also that we'd be playing against South Africa in a couple of months, we would have liked to go out there, play tonight, win, and go into that competition with a win.
And Gus said the other day that you might have been struggling to field a full 11 for this game. What's the latest on the injuries? And obviously it doesn't matter for the tournament, but how are sort of the team shaping up looking forward as well?
I don't really have much on the injuries. That's something the physio is going to have to answer.
And in terms of looking ahead, then how does West Indies progress from this? Because it's not been a great few years for you in T20s overall.
Well, we have a regional tournament in a couple of weeks. After that, we play against South Africa, and then we head off to Sri Lanka for the World Cup qualifiers. So we have a lot of cricket coming up, and we know as players we're going to have to step up.
Do you think that regional tournament could give other players outside of this group the chance to put their hands up? I think there were 11 players from the last tournament that survived. Do you think we could see some new faces going forward?
Definitely. You never know. We have a lot of talent coming up in the West Indies. There's quite a few players who are showing a lot of promise. So you never know. Hopefully, we might see some new faces.